left-hander and a right-hander.
Yep, the king of the hell between
The only match we've had like this, Chris, was last year in Edmond, Oklahoma at the Choice Hotel Classic, where Gene Stuss, the senior champion, bowled Monticelli, and Monticelli just wiped him out. Let's see what happens here.
Phoenix.
There he is. Parker Bohn. Strike. Now, 5'11", 175-pound Ron Williams, originally from East St. Louis. Had his wife Bonnie with him in Torrance. She's watching back home today. Well, in both cases, the pins are listening to the bowlers.
You're right, Chris. It's an ideal shot. Last week, we saw him as the tournament leader become the 8th consecutive tournament leader to win the championship. You see his style. He has that kind of a funny push away with his arm, but he lines everything at the top of his swing. And here's a situation where both men are coming off a championship. Ron Williams, he's AC Delco champion, bowling against the Phoenix Open champion. Both of them are loose and ready.
Full ball.
Yes. Great shot. In winning last week, it was his first PBA victory in 3 years, Ron Williams, which put him again into the Firestone. 7 new faces on the Firestone list at this point. Two frames, each bowler, 4 strikes. What else, or what more can we ask?
Well, Parker just looks as sharp and as confident as anybody we've seen, and I do agree with your comment there you had, Chris, as one of the finest matches we've seen in 32 years. I haven't had that luxury of 32 years. However, in the 19 years I've sat in this position, that was one of the best, the Monticelli-Bohn match. But we're shaping up for another top one as both players have started with a double in the King of the Hill match.
Head-to-head, 5,000, winner take all. And that man who has 23 has already won 24,000 this afternoon. Ron Williams, his opponent, won 42,000 AC Delco Classic last week.
Two different styles, both with fairly medium hook balls. Ron with the upright style and the good loft over the line. Bohn with the deep knee bend.
Get up.
Yeah. Look at that. 3 frames for each bowler, 6 strikes. He averaged 202 this week. While today's 4 finalists averaged 252, he's bowling the hottest. How does he feel about the odds?
Well, Bo, it is a disadvantage for me because I finished 102nd place this week. But, you know, it's a 1-game match, and, you know, after coming off a win last week, I feel like I can win this week again and continue on to Las Vegas next week.
Come on. Yes. Yeah.
Talking very little, but come on. Does the trick with the help of a great shot. 4 in a row, momentarily at least, a 10-10 lead. In our first King of the Hill Challenge match, where winner takes all, the AC Delco champion against the Phoenix Open champion, we have 7 strikes. Ron Williams, 4 in a row. Bohn, 3 in a row. Still all even. Nelson. Wide World follows us. And equally as good are the Harlem Globetrotters. And on this Wide World of Sports, they are the ambassadors of goodwill because they visit and play in South Central Los Angeles. And I know our director, Larry Kim, and producer, Caroletti, really enjoyed doing that show. Well, it comes up next. 4 of them were here with us today. We hope you saw them.
Isn't that scoreboard pretty? 8 strikes, 4 by each player.
And then reality.
Well, Chris, he's wondering what happened there, but if he went quickly on the approach and his arm swing got away from his body. When your arm swing gets away from your body, you don't get the leverage necessary, and here he hits light, leaves the 1, 3, 4, 6, 7. The best way to shoot that is get the ball to the right of the head pin in the 1-3 zone, get over in this area, drive the head pin into the 4. too much of the head fake.
Well, for a man that is a Phoenix Open champion by virtue of 3 victories, now it's a winner-take-all King of the Hill match.
Ron Williams, who had 27 strikes in a row during the tournament last week at the AC Delco, has 4 in a row to start this match and can take a big lead.
Hold on, baby. Carry. Yes.
Oh, and he is accepting the challenge, which he earned by winning last week.
You know, it's interesting watching from the announce booth 2 players that are very loose. Parker Bohn with a victory today in the Phoenix Open. Ron Williams, unperturbed by his poor finish this week, is loose as a goose, and he has a major lead in this King of the Hill match. Watch how he's playing the lane. Very conventional player. He's going to start to the right side of the approach. He's going to drift to the center. He's going to go right around the second arrow, just about as standard as you can be.
Oh, we were going toward that halfway point. 5 in a row. He leaves the 4-pin. And, of course, this year, should we have a perfect game, True Value again with a $100,000 bonus and a $10,000 bonus from the PBA.
Well, if the head pin goes to the sideboard, kicks out the 2 takes out the 7, but not the 4. With a conversion, 20-pin lead through 5.
All right.
Next week, Las Vegas, then Grand Prairie, Texas.
And then we go on to the True Value, Peoria, and St. Louis, my hometown, for the Budweiser tournament the next 4 weeks. Parker Bohn not thinking about that. He's thinking of the next 5 frames in front of him.
Carry.
Comes right back. He had games of 228, 236, and 268, this man.
Key shot here, Chris. He came off that big string, and he kind of was a little bit worried about the type of shot that he threw on 37 last frame. Let's see if he just puts that behind him. A confident Ron Williams. That's that AC Delco check for $42,000 in his back pocket.
Didn't see him smile like that at all when he comes back. He just has a big smile on his face. Of course, bowling as he's bowling will make you smile, all right.
And his opponent struggling a little bit right here.
Yeah. Remember, 42 last week. This man, 24,000 today. In the previous game, winning the Phoenix Open in our new format. Now, our first King of the Hill Challenge match.
Must spare for Parker Bohn. He'll be at a 2:11 pace and has to string some strikes in this high-scoring environment.
What the space in the center.
Remember, Parker has already bowled 3 games. It looks tired. You see how hard he hit that seat?
And a little disappointed. He went through 3 very tough opponents. Traber, Monticelli, and Williams.
Carry. Yeah.
Oof.
All 3 of Ron's victories
shakes
came around
through
his
the sun.
birthday, including the one last week. One of them came on Bonnie's birthday, so. Paul Barkley, regional partner, manager of Fair Lanes. 22 years we've associated with Fair Lane.
Sponsoring tournaments both in Phoenix and Baltimore. Now Ron Williams can extend his lead to 38 pins if he strikes here in the 8th.
No, hold it. Hold it.
He's probably wondering how he did so poorly in the tournament, Chris. I think he's found something.
He said earlier he had. I heard him tell, I think it was Dave Ferraro, that he had discovered something.
Found the secret. Maybe a little more loft and a little less hook.
Oh, found nothing.
10 pin for Parker Bohn. If you just joined us, 3 great games by this professional. 228 victory over David Traber's 196. Walter Ray Williams Jr. had a 196 to Parker's 236. Then in the last match where he won the Phoenix Open title, 268, and Leto Monticelli 257.
Oof. What the space?
As Parker Bohn comes up here in the 9th frame, if he does not strike, he is a gone goose. No chance.
and $5,000 to the winner only.
And another chance in Vegas.
The bump shot thing.
Bohn stays alive. He has a potential 230. That strike forces Ron Williams to mark here in the 9th and 10th frames for a strike here in the 9th. This would lock it up.
Get up, baby. Yeah.
Oof.
All right.
But that strike by Ron Williams seals the
Remember, he waited for Parker Bohn to win 3 games in the Phoenix Open Championship. Off to the right. Comes in here like gangbusters.
Good point, Chris. And another good point is our tournament leader has won 8 consecutive tournaments. However, Parker Bohn dethroned Monicelli in the semifinals. But in the final match, once again, the man on top coming in has prevailed.
Good enough.
Well, the 7th.
Potential 258. That's plenty.
It's good enough.
There's the handshake, the low 5, and it's a high $5,000, that is, for Ron Williams.
And you'll see him in Las Vegas next week in the final game.
So the television history here.
I don't think it may him.
The first ABC television professional bowlers tour, King of the Hill. He was a challenger coming in here, earned it by winning the AC Delco, and this man earned the right to try and win by winning the Phoenix Open with a big 268.
Look at.
All right, the King of the Hill is Ron
Like
Williams.
the
The
video.
Phoenix Open champion is Parker Bohn.